Hello, hello. Okay, so let's see if we can get everything up and running. I'm going to kill the audio here so that I don't have to hear myself talk. And let's get some music going. And then we're going to get started shortly. I realized there was like a few things that I wanted to tweak on Jump and Shoot Man, and we'll start by just testing that out. What do I want to listen to today? I don't know if I really want to listen to that. So many different choices. All right, so we have a busy day. What I wanted to do, rebuild Jump and Shoot Man. I wanted to use rect instead of hit rect. For today's code warm-up, we're just going to take a look at Jump and Shoot Man, which is basically done at this point, and see how we can sort of clean it up a little bit more. So let me go to transfer. I have a new build. I spent some time last night cleaning up all the builds. Basically, Pixel Vision 8 0.8.1 is ready to release. So I'm going to release that tomorrow. And then once that's released, I'm sort of dead set on doing some stuff. Hold on, I want to see if I'm going to open up VirtualBox for a second. So last night I created a VM for add an existing virtual machine. Yesterday I built a VM for well, I should have two VMs here. First off, I should have a Pi and Ubuntu. I wonder why the other one doesn't load up. I might have to rebuild the Pi one. Let's see if Ubuntu loads like this. May run into an error condition, but we suggest you take actions, details. Cannot be set up. Shared path builds Linux does not exist in the host. Right? Okay, yeah, sure. I see what's going on there. I think I'm going to reset up my computer this weekend. Is this booting or doing anything, or did it just give me an error because I couldn't find the shared folders? I think what I want to do, okay, cool, it is working. It just can't find the shared folders. I think what I want to do is, I keep a lot of my stuff on Dropbox. I think I'm going to move Dropbox to the shared folder so that I can use it between both of these. I use two accounts basically. Shut down. I use one account for when I stream, and I use the other account when I actually do my real work. And what I'd love to do is get all the files in one place. So I might do that. All right, so here is this. We're gonna spend like the first 30 minutes just doing what I call a code warm up, where I go through and I just work on a little project to get my brain going. So we're gonna take a quick pass at Jump and Shoot Man and just see if there's anywhere that we can really sort of optimize it. So code entities. Let's see, entity manager. What I really wanted to do was I wanted to simplify the way that this stuff is calculating the position and everything. So let's come here and just take a quick run. I don't know if I muted it or not. I probably haven't muted it. Oh, I can find out in a minute. So I ran into, yesterday I was like really frustrated. I've been building this, everything is in C# and I've been building it on Unity. And I like actually like lost my shit yesterday that I just couldn't get WebGL stuff to build correctly. And I can't even get this project to like upgrade to the latest version of Unity. So I was just like going nuts. So all last night I went through and was trying to figure out like ways of getting this project out of Unity. And it's going to be a lot of work. So what I got to figure out is how to actually do that. And my real focus, I have to get GameOn working before I head out to our office in California next week. So I'm going to get later on in the stream. We're going to get a Super Zombie Runner using GameOn, and that's my focus for this week. But then when I come back, I really need to. I really got to get off of Unity. I've had enough of the problems, and like yesterday, like Unity just kept crashing constantly, and it was sort of a pain in the butt. All right, what I want to do is this. I want to replace this. I want to replace the way that we move things in the game engine, and we're going to focus on trying to keep things simple. I don't know. Let's see. There's two ways that we could do this. We could either... like right now, the way that it works is that there's this rect, and there's a... Elise is on. He's deaf, so I have to take a minute just to type to him so he can be included in the stream. All right, so what I wanted to do was this is just like really convoluted, and what I'm going to do, let's do this. Let's do position equals new vector, right? And we're going to set it to X and Y. And I'm going to go through and find wherever we use rect.x, we're going to replace this with position X. Let's just take a look at where this is happening. So here we're going to draw the sprite. So let's replace all, and let's look for rect Y and change this to replace all. So that's the first part of what we're going to do. I now need to go into the physics engine. So we're going to go into physics, and we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to do, we'll start with X and replace all, and then Y and replace all. I don't know if I use rect anywhere in here. Rect width, rect height, physics engine. I don't even know what the hell this is. This is wrong. All right, so let's go into the player, and we're going to do rect Y, and we're going to replace this, and we'll do rect X as well. So all right, so let's also look at our entities, and we're going to replace all of these rect X and rect Y. Replace all this. All right, so we'll save this, save this, save this. I don't think there's, maybe the collision manager. Do I have like a separate, I can't remember. Manager and collision. Yeah, here we go. So let's replace all this here. And we'll do rect X, replace all. All right, so I'm going to just run this and see if I broke anything like this. entities manager Lua code entities manage Lua line 19 new rect. Oh, here we go. It should have a comma. All right. So one thing I just realized was that in the main game, I'm not replacing this here. So replace Y. I don't think I do that anywhere else. This will just make the scroll. Basically, the scrolling follows the camera. Oh, something broke. Why didn't it like that idea? All right, let's do a full. Find in project. I can never remember how to actually. Alright, that'll give me the rect. Entities rect dot. So what I'm looking for is rect dot x. Rect dot y. Did I just like break everything? Oh man, what is going on here? Let's just look for what we call rect and find all the references to rect. So well, that's annoying. Rect with rect y. I wonder what the you know, we should open up a terminal and just see what the console. Code entity manager expected. Interesting. I wonder why. Wait, why is it like silently dying here? All right, let's undo all this, and we're gonna code entities. Collision, physics, undo. Let's get rid of this. Code, undo, and entity manager. All right, so that didn't work out the way that I wanted it to. Let's try a different approach. Let's look for rect dot width. Entity rect intersects with entity rect. Loop through. All right, this was the problem that we had. This. Basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to simplify the fact that we have two different rects. One represents the position and the other represents the. Like, all right, let's do this. When we come here and we look at this entity rect x offset blah 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 stuff, right? That draws the entity. Let's see where else we have. Move entity, find. Spawn entity. All right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna create a new position equals new vector. What we want to do is I want to replace using the regular rect, the hit rect with this. So we'll have two things. One, we always want to calculate the position of the player, and then next we want the rect to represent the collision area, and that will sort of simplify everything. So let's do x, y. And I'm just going to run this. We're going to just do this refactor a little slow. Refactoring in Lua is going to be sort of a challenge. All right, so right now we're not doing anything. Let's come here and now let's look for wherever we use rect. Find. So here we're intersecting with this guy. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do a local temp rect equals new rect. And on each frame where we look for the entity's rect, what we're going to basically do is temp rect x equals entity.rect.x, temp rect y equals entity.rect y, temp rect x width equals entity rect width, temp rect height equals entity rect height. All right, so that's the first place that we're going to look. And then the next will be drawing this stuff, draw offset. All right, there's that. I don't even know if I use draw offset anywhere. Let's see if this just runs now and we get... Well, I didn't get anything off screen, so that didn't help. I mean, not like I'd be able to really tell. Yeah, I know the Play Canvas guys. All right, so let's see here. What I just want to make sure is going on, let's exit this, and in the entity, draw unspawned entities. At the end of this, I want to look for print active entities. I just want to make sure that we are removing entities off screen and that I didn't break the off screen collision detection stuff. So we can see that things are going off screen. Like the numbers are counting down. So 1, 0. Perfect. All right. So that works. So now that we did that, what we got to figure out is all the places where we have a rect x. So let's see if we can try this again. So let's find all. Whoops. No, let's do find in project, Lua, rect x. And let's make this whole word case sensitive. So let's find every single one of these. So it's collision, player, code, entity manager, entities Lua, and code collision. So let's see if we can do position X. We're going to replace all this stuff to position X. Oh, I see what it does now. The green is what it's replacing it to. The red is what it looks like. That's kind of cool. All right, let's replace all of this. This will replace rect X with position X 29 times in 6 files. Yeah, sure. What else am I going to do? All right, so now we are using the rect, the position X, and the rect Y. All right, so let's go here. The next we're going to do is rect Y for position Y. And let's replace all. I really like Atom. Like, I've really grown to like Atom. It's actually a really good editor. I almost kind of want to build Pixel Vision 8 into Atom. That's kind of what's frustrating me with the WebGL port, is that I really wish I could get this all to run on Atom. And it would be like, Pixel Vision 8 would just be like a tab inside of Atom where you can test things out. All right, so it looks like things are working. And what we're going to do next is I want to try to get it to where when we create an entity, it automatically, let's see if we can get the entity manager when it draws. Where is code collision? All right, so what we're going to do is calculate the rect here. And let's go, I should have done this before. Animate entity, move entity. When we go here to draw our entities, what we should do is to calculate rect entity code collision and debug collision. All we need to do is call is debug collision. All right, so we're going to debug the collision here. And what I just want to see is every time we run this game, if we can get collision rects for everything. All right, cool. So one of the things that I want to do is fix all of the collision rects. Let me, let's go here. All right, so use rect instead of hit rect and add a position vector, which we've done. Well, actually, we haven't finished this yet. I want to clean up collision rects. Add global draw collision rect to entity manager. There we go. All right, so in essence, what we're going to do is now we'll just have this. Let's go into our code and we're going to create a new variable called debug equals true. And in our entity manager, we will do if debug. So now we should be able to just easily toggle on and off drawing the collision rects. And then we'll go through here and we'll make sure that they work. I should if entity removed doesn't equal true. I don't like that the collision rect stuff goes off, like it wraps around, but there's not much we can do about it. I'd have to look into why that stuff wraps. It has something to do with the way that I'm drawing the background stuff. But, alright. So, okay, let's do this. So now we have a better sense of where the collision rects are. What I want to do now is go into the physics engine, and I want to replace configure physics entity. I don't know where this width or height comes from. I don't even know where hit rect gets added. I think there's something here when we calculate configure physics entity. Where do I even create the new hit rect? don't even know how this is working. That's really weird. Hold on, let's look for find all. I must do it in collision. That's what it is. So when we come in here and we create calculate rect, configure collision. Here we create a new hit rect. Offset X, offset Y, width and height. So what I want to do is when we create a new entity, I want to basically spawn entity. I want to use this rect. All right, so what I want to do next is I just want to make sure that we have this rect that works. The spawn entity would do type XY, flip H, and then we're going to leave this as is. And all right, so when we code up the collision stuff, what I want to do is I want to get rid of hit rect, and I just want to replace it with a regular rect. So that's my next real quick refactor. Let's see if we can replace. First off, I don't even know what that does. Let me oops. Let me just run this without the physics stuff and just make sure I don't break anything. All right, so that works fine. We don't need this. What I want to do real quick is we're going to replace hit rect with rect in all the Lua files. Now let's find them all first. It's going to be in collision, entities, physics. All right, so those are easy. Let's replace all and see what happens. I'm hoping this doesn't break everything. Trying to figure out what the hell is blinking in the background there. All right, so removing the rect has seemed to have fixed it. I'm also seeing that we have the correct offsets and everything, so that's good. There seems to be something in the background that's still running, but we'll get to that later. So now, if we take a look at our entity manager, this should be a lot cleaner, right? We have our rect, position, rect. And then what we should do is that each of these entities should basically, let's do this. Let's split this here. Let's go to code and let's create a snake. and we're gonna just look at its. We're gonna look at every single thing's collision rect. Let me. I'll stop this Pomodoro. I'll probably do this for another hour, and then we'll switch gears over to the main event. So use rect instead of hit rect in position. We've done this, and now we're in the process. We've also added a global draw collision rect to the manager, which we can do now. So what we're going to do is let's spawn this snake. I want to go into the player, and I'm going to set his velocity to 0. And let's run this. And what we should do is we'll just see the snake. So now, if we came in here to this entity rect, we can move its X over by 4 pixels. Its rect Y equals 0, so we don't even have to bother with this. And the width is going to be 12, and the height will remain the same. So now, if we rerun this, it should have made him. It should have made it smaller. Let me just go here to configure collision. So there's 2 things that I'm kind of thinking I need to do. One is either we do this manually, configure collision. So we can just do this here, 12, 16, 4, and get rid of this here. All right, let's move this over by 2. So I already have most of the code in place, and a big part, like what I want to do is I just got to get this code in a place where it's easy for me to turn into a tutorial, and we should just make this 13. So what I'm actually going to do is make this 11 and 2, and one thing that we try to do is we try to make the collision area 14, just a little bit smaller than the actual sprite. This way he can jump over that guy a little bit better. All right, so that I like the snake. I'm happy with that, and I think this is the design pattern we're going to go for. We're going to go and we're going to configure the collision, and every time we configure the collision, we can get rid of this debug collision stuff here. In fact, what I'm going to do, yeah, we'll leave it like that. On meter value change, fine. All this is good. Let's configure the next guy here. So there's no collision stuff for spawner. There's no collision. There are collision things for these guys. Let's see if we can get this, get these guys cleaned up a little bit. So what we need to do is let's go look for energy or health. It's in here somewhere. Configure entity. Oh, it's configure any health. All right, so we configure the collision. The width should be 14, 1, 10, 4, 2. And then what do I need to do? I need to make the height 9 and 3. There we go. All right, cool. So we'll do this, and we'll change this here too. So now the energy should now share the same hitbox as that. Perfect. And I feel like when we spawn this guy, we should modify its X position by 3. So let's do entity x or y plus entity y plus 3. Y position, so it rests on. Let's just see if this moves this down or it breaks it. It should be, whoops, position y. 438. Right. I don't know what the hell I just typed there, but none of that was code that worked. All right, so make this 4. So basically, we spawn the thing on the Y position, but I wonder if yeah, we can do it. I don't know. This is sort of hacky. I don't like this approach. We'll deal with that later when we need to. Right now, it's sort of floating where it needs to float. What I want to avoid that kind of where it controls its own offset, but then it gets a little weird. What we could do is we could add a draw offset to it, but I actually want to take the draw offset out. Let me add that to my list here. If you're tuning in, I'm just doing some I want to do a little bit of a code warm-up this morning on cleaning up Jump and Shoot Man a little bit more, because I want to start turning into a tutorial. And one of the things I need to do is fix the collision areas. So let's go back to the hardhead guy. I think there's nothing that's going to make him stop running, because he's crazy, man. He's just crazy. Yeah, he just keeps running. Let's do this. Let's get rid of this. We don't need this wrecked stuff anymore. Configure collision. I just want to set his velocity to 0. I just want to make him a little bit thinner. So he would basically be 16, 14, and move this in by 1. Let's do 13, 2. All right, let's see. There we go. All right, so that's fine. That's just at least the cylinder of his body. He's driving me nuts jumping like that. All right, so what I'm thinking of doing is I was thinking of adding configuring the animation should automatically try to set the width and height. So let me look at that real quick. So configure in the entity manager, when we call configure animation, what should happen is it should look at the entity rect so let's see if, well, we'll do entity rect width equals, this gets complicated. What I was trying to think of doing was we should automatically set the width and height based on the sprite size, and then when we do the configure collision, it sort of gives you a way to customize it. So let's do local first frame equals frames 1 if first frame doesn't equal nil, and entity rect width equals first. Now, you know, I don't want to deal with all this. This is too much. This is too much stuff to deal with. I think what'll just happen is when when we create an entity, it just automatically sets its size to, we'll just set it to 16 by 16, which is like a good default value. Most of the stuff in this, like there isn't anything that's 8 by 8. Oh, what we should do is we should set this to 0 by 0. That's what I'm looking for. All right, but then this rect will work, and then what we want to do is when we configure animation, draw entities. I want to get rid of this entity draw offset position. I don't think I use it anywhere, honestly, and it's not worth the headache. Like, do I even use this anywhere? Find in project, find all. Yeah, let's get rid of that. We don't need that. All right, so you'll see the dust there is actually 8 pixels high, but it's getting a 16 by 16 collision box. But the good part is that we don't really need to worry about it because it doesn't collide with anything. It's just to know when it's actually off the screen. So now let's see what's next. So the next guy is our turret. All right, so I want to make that a lot smaller. So let's look at our turret for a second here. All right, let's get rid of this width and height. And then what we do here is we actually change the width and height based on its height is going to be, let's see here, we configure the collision for 16 by 16. But it really isn't 16 by 16. Its height is going to be something more like, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to keep this guy simple. We're going to make it, 16, we're going to make it 14 by 10, 2 by 4. And then I'm going to get rid of this stuff where we change its rect height, and we're going to save that for the other guy. There's no point in overcomplicating these enemies, especially something like this where it's so subtle. What I want is to give you a better chance of running over it. Why did that not force the rect to be hidden? Am I in the hidden? Oh, I'm in the hidden turret. Damn it. I want the regular turret. Find. Here we go. Okay. Let's get rid of this. Let's set it to, what did I do? 14, 10, 2, 6. And we're going to change the... I'm going to change this stuff. The hidden turret, when it pops up, will change its height and stuff. This is just going to... Alright. This will always be a fixed size. And even when it shoots up, it doesn't matter. Let's make this 13. Make this 8. 6. 8. Yes, 8 plus 8 is 16 last time I checked. 12. Alright, so that's just like the inner side of it. And then let's make this really 6, 10. There we go. Saved you from a really loud sneeze. Alright. So now what we got to do is we got to fix these bullets, because the bullets are just silly large. Where, what does it spawn? A pellet shot? Alright, so the pellet shot, let's get rid of this. And it's just going to be 8x8. Let's make it, yeah, it's close enough. I mean, I can't, like, the smaller the hit rec, the better the chances of the player avoiding it, and it makes it more fair, but I really am more interested in this guy, like, being able to jump over this. Those bullets are fine enough. I mean, what we could do is, yeah, let's do 6x6, 1-1. Let's see what that does. So there we go. So, alright, that wasn't too much of a change. Alright, so now we got bullets that are a little bit more accurate. Let's take a look at the hidden turret for a second here, and then that should be the last entity we really need to worry about. Hey Jesse, watching from Pub on mobile, so it's probably only a message I sent. Hey, typing on mobile. Good to see you streaming again. Been interested in watching LD game development. Cool. Well, thank you, Inbred Freak. Thank you for the comment. Enjoy the stream on your mobile device. If you're just tuning in, I'm taking my Ludum Dare game and just trying to make it not shitty. I had like an awful Ludum Dare. Like, I built like a really cool game. Like, I'm actually kind of proud of this game, but I like had so many bugs in my Ludum Dare game. It drove me nuts. And so I spent the past 2 weeks just cleaning it up. Where the hell is this? This is the hidden turret. So now I'm just doing the, I want to turn this into a tutorial. So I'm just doing like the last round of just getting this thing working. Let's do this. So this guy is special. When he pops up, he winds up shooting, and what we're gonna do is I want to get the rect correct, and then we'll update it on the animation. So I need to do 1 1. All right, I want to make this 14, 13, whoops, 13. There we go. All right, so now what we're going to do is we'll set the rect height to 0. And when the rect height comes up, we're going to set this to 14. And when he hides, we're going to set this back to 0. And everything else will remain the same. And I just want to make it where entity frame... If frame equals 17... I just want to see... There's a place where I... 15... This is the shoot. And this is the hide. Let's do if entity frame equals entity frames minus 2. Let's stop the shooting stuff and we'll start hiding it. So it should be, well, I didn't like that idea. Entity frames, there we go. Minus 1. I'm trying to catch it on the right frame, where as it starts going down, it no longer will do collision. We're going to try to make it a little bit more fair for the player. Alright, that works. So then the next thing we want to do is... Actually, we could just do this as the last frame. Let's see if that is a little bit better. I don't know why I obsess over these things. Alright, but that's fine. On the last frame, we'll get rid of it, and we'll stop the shooting flag. Now, I need to go to... I think this shoots the spike ball, right? I'm trying to adjust my seat here. It should be something like there's pellet, small shot, small spike ball. Let's get rid of this and 16 by 16. I believe this is an 8 by 8 thing. Let's do 8, 8, 4, 4. There we go, much better. Alright, so I think I got all of the entities now. What I would like to see is, there's something else that I want to fix real quick. Oh, I love when I get a phone call and then like everything starts ringing in my headphones. Alright, so what we're going to do is, I wanted to see if I can stop this stuff from draw physics. Code Entity Manager. I'm kind of curious as to why the entity, if entity remove equals false. Active entities. I don't know why this thing is drawing off the screen like this, but that's fine. Whoops. Okay. All right, but there may not be a. I just want to fix the collision area for the dust. So this should be entity rect height equals 8. There we go. It's interesting because I'm running so fast, you don't. The rect, that dust rect shows up behind the player, but it's actually in front of the player. That was a visual thing. I should probably make it more accurate, but I'm not going to. All right, let's go in the code and let's do this. Let's get rid of. Actually, what we could, yeah, let's go to our player. Let's set the velocity x to 2. Go to code. And we're going to set debug defaults. I just want to make sure that everything works. Oh, we got to get rid of that dude. All right, looks good. So if I set this back to true, while we're running through the game, we'd see all the hitboxes and everything, and it'll feel a lot... Oh, we gotta set that poor guy, let him run again. Where was he? Where did I set his velocity? Draw entities, entity manager, here's the entities. Configure the hardhead guy. Yeah, oh, the collision is going to be so much better now. Boom. Cool, everything looks like it's working a lot better now. Yeah, this isn't like my best game ever, but I'm sort of proud of it. It definitely came out... It came out pretty good. It captures the essence of a a Mega Man game as an endless runner. Which I felt were two genres that don't work well together. But apparently, I'm sure my Ludum Dare ratings are going to be incredibly low. Most of it was the game was a hot, buggy mess. Is there something like really weird about that? It was like rendering something that should have been off screen. Like it's still running. I don't know why that is. Entity Manager. Ugh. Intersects with. Well, all right. I feel like this is a lot cleaner now, at least. What I'll probably do is I'll probably just keep taking passes at cleaning this stuff up and then documenting it. In fact, what we could do is I'm gonna go through and look for any like big chunks of code that is commented out that we don't need anymore. And then what I'll probably do is I have a bunch of flights next week. What I'll sit on the flight is I'll probably just like put on a movie and just comment up the code and then start writing a tutorial. And I'm kind of thinking like maybe I'll write the tutorial on my stream and I can show you guys sort of how I work through and build out what my tutorial writing process looks like. I don't know if that's even fun to watch someone else write a tutorial. But what we'll probably do is get the skeleton of it up and running. And I'll show you how I take things apart, piece it back together again, and then see where everything works. I don't know. I get a lot. I mean, a lot of people want to write and do more stuff about code. It wouldn't hurt to teach you guys sort of how that process of writing a tutorial is. All right, we're gonna keep all that because we don't need this or this or this. Let's move this up to the top. I was debating adding this game. I wanted to add this game to the current release of the Game Creator, but I'm probably going to hold off. One, I need to do a C# port of it, which is going to be a little bit more challenging. And then two, I need to I'm going to need to do a few things. So what I'm trying to get is I didn't want any of these update physics. We don't need this anymore. Oh, I do need update physics. Debug physics. Let's see if we can get debug physics to work. We'll do this in the entity manager. Math random. Well, I don't know. We should probably code physics. Remove entity. New rect. Let's do this. On the code physics, when we update the entity physics, we'll do this. For flag debug, fine. Code collision on update test. I don't know if this is going to work the way that I want it to. I think it's only going to show me the collision for the player. Yeah, it's like too much crap. Let me get rid of this. We'll leave that there, and on our entity manager, we'll just add back in debug collision. So this way we can. I would actually probably move this debug collision stuff into here, because debug collision. Every entity has a rect. Calculate rect. Draw rect. All right, let me move this into the entity manager here. And we're going to rename this debug rect into debug rect. So if an entity has a rect, so the stuff that I want to get rid of, like we don't need to test. Every entity has a rect. We don't need to worry about that. What we could do is cache this scroll position, but draw entities. There's a few more little things I just want to clean up, and then we're going to move on to the main thing. Manager 160. Draw rect. Debug rect. Alright, so everything now is displaying its rect. Alright, let's go to code collision. Alright, let's get rid of this. Just trying to simplify this stuff. Like now that we know that every entity has a rect, there's no point in actually testing to make sure that it has the rect. Like this stuff here, that's just adding extra overhead that we don't need. What we want to make sure is that the rect width and height is over a certain thing, so that's fine. Target UID, collision. Let's do this. Rect x equals offset x. Y. So basically, when you go to configure it when you go to configure the collision, it will automatically it'll automatically update the rect, and in fact what we would probably just do is this. Well, this will be that'll be a faster way of writing it. All right, so now what we're doing is I'm just trying to remove, the last thing I wanted to remove was any reference, anywhere where we're testing to see if a rect exists, because it should, oh, that screwed up everything, huh? How did that screw things up? Okay. Rect x equals offset x or 0. Oh, maybe you know what it was? Maybe I set y and I wasn't paying attention. Y. With... I actually like that song that was just playing. I hate when it's I hate in Spotify when it's a radio station and it doesn't let you go back. Oh no, there we go. All right, so I gotta wrap this up because we got to move on to the main event. All right, so let me run this real quick. All right, so it looks like the collision stuff is working correctly. All right, so I just got to go into the physics and fix that last thing. So on the physics manager, what we should do is we don't need to test. Yeah, wherever we do something like this, let's remove it. All right. This physics engine, this like very simple physics engine, wound up becoming way more complicated than I wanted it to be. And it probably has like room to grow. But it works. It's just, it uses like a really weird callback system. I'm not sure if I exactly like that approach. Alright. This game is working well. Alright. Let's just rename this to Jump and Shoot Man V5. Whoops. Jump and Shoot Man V5. Save it and quit. Okay. And we'll make a new archive of it. Alright, so the main event, that was this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick like 5-minute break and go get a snack. And then, why do I have so many of these? Testing, is my audio still working? It's like bunnies, like it loves to spawn like additional audio monitors and I don't know why. I'm just looking at the audio levels. It looks like I still got sound. All right. Oops, I didn't want to do that. I wanted, all right, so back at, let's do 10 a.m. We'll do 10:12 a.m. All right, so that'll give me 5 minutes to go take a quick break. Why don't you guys get up and stretch? I'll be right back, and then we're going to continue to add GameOn to my Super Zombie Runner game. All right, I'm back. Probably a little late. 1 minute late. Fire me. All right, so let's see. So yesterday, I tried to add GameOn to Super Zombie Runner, and and mostly failed miserably. What I'd like to do is new terminal folder. I think I want to revert everything and just start from scratch. So git status. What I wanted to figure out was I feel like I want to redo this from scratch. What? All right, so that worked out well. Okay, so what we did was, what I just did was I wiped all my code from yesterday. It was a good experiment, but it wasn't working the way that I wanted to. And now let's go ahead. I actually, against my better judgment, I'm probably going to pull this out. I have a new version of some stuff that Peter sent me, and I think I should just pull this out and use this instead. Let me move this to the desktop. We'll just keep it as a reference, and we'll put that there. All right, so let's open up Unity, and let's see how many times Unity can crash on us today. So one of the big architectural issues I ran into was 110% Unity's fault. It wasn't letting me call coroutines inside of a nested game object on a canvas, and it screwed up the entire way that the architecture worked for the game. So with that in mind, what I need to do is I need to rebuild a few things. And before we start adding in any of the GameOn stuff, we're going to do twofold. First off, let's open up the C# project. And I just wanted to refactor a few things real quick. Well, we'll get to that. I just want to see how I had pulled this out of one of Peter's projects. So I just wanted to restructure the code. I think I've asked Peter to write like a whole bunch of stuff for me, and he's been really good about it, but I can't keep asking him to do everything, so I just got to like roll my sleeves up. I'm not wearing any sleeves, but I roll my sleeves up and start doing it myself. But I want to sort of get this project to a neutral place where I can divorce it of what Peter was doing in his test stuff and get this all working. So let me pull this out, and I'm looking for GameOn. Let's pull out this stuff. I don't think he was using namespaces, so this... I want to delete this. All right. He wasn't using namespaces. Everything should be in one thing. All right, so let's do this. Let's come back into our game, and we're just going to run it. And what I need to do is come up with a... let's run this. Audio is muted, and what I want to do is I just got to I got to do twofold. I got to get the scoring system. I got to create a manager that sits on top of the scoring system, and then I need to create a way of passing stuff into this little message bar area. So I want to look at the game manager as the first point of contact. And the other thing that I had was, excuse me, a little gassy today. Text manager. This is a convoluted mess. My goal is that by next year I won't even have to open up Unity and I can just do everything in my own game engine. I've had enough of dealing with this crap. I'm just trying to wrap my head around where I'm doing stuff. Canvas. Where's the message box? How does the message box even work? I don't even remember any of this stuff. Is this a singleton? Register as a singleton. All right, perfect. What we should do is we should probably just register the scoring stats. We should probably just register the stats as a singleton too. I have a singleton class, which is sort of helpful. So when it wakes up, it'll register it as a singleton. All right, and then what I want to do on the stats thing, on enable, calculate rank, add ordinal. Generate stat text. So here, stats manager. That's what I need, is the stats manager. Where do I register the stats manager? Get singleton stats manager. All right, let's get rid of this for a second. You don't need this. No, that's not what I want. I want... This has the stat manager find rank retriever. Get component iRank retriever. The rank retriever. No, I don't want that. Just decompile that. Rank retriever. Ugh, I wrong key command. Rank retriever. Online rank. Get rank. All right, so what we should do is this online rank class is basically what is going to manage supervisor scripts. All right. I need to put the online rank onto, so let's go here. Let's move this real quick and make sure we can still link this stuff back up. All right, so on the stats text should be this online rank. I'm going to move online rank onto the game manager. And now stats is going to need a reference to, oh my God, Unity, you're so weird. This whole so rank retriever. Fine, let's make this a public thing. Let's get rid of this here. And let's see if we can now, will it expose that? No, because it's not a, why won't that expose that? Public. This is probably not a mono behavior. All right, let's do this. Online rank. No, online rank extends mono behavior. I retrieve rank. All right, we just have to, we can't do it to an interface. So that's fine. We'll just hard code it for right now. What we're going to do is we're going to pass the game manager here, and it will automatically give us this. So let's, oh, hey, look, cool. Unity's back, giving, throwing its own errors. That's cool. GUI, I wish I knew what that error was. Don't even know. It's just Unity itself can't draw itself. Unreal. All right, so what I want to make sure is that when we die, we get the online rank. All right, perfect. Now we're still getting our ranks. Great. All right, so the other thing we want to do in the rank, online rank, is we're going to break this guy out. Actually, we'll leave it over here. And this rank, this online rank is going to manage all of our GameOn stuff. So message box. So the other thing I want is I want to get a reference to the message box. So let's see here. Game object get singleton achievement message box. All right, so our online rank is going to need a reference to the message box. So let's do private void start. We'll import this reference, and we'll import achievement message box. I think I pulled the wrong one out. Is there another message box here? Yeah, here we go, message box, perfect. All right, online rank message box. I don't even remember any of these classes. Awake, update, show message. Online rank ready. All right, let's see if we can now, what I'm trying to get is, I need the rank class to be able to display messages. Where's my mouse? Wow, Unity is completely just crapped out right now. All right, so that didn't work. It may have worked, but it probably didn't work because it interesting. It didn't work because I'm displaying a message. So let me do this. Let me wow, this error message is driving me crazy. Unity 2018 occurs. Likewise, same. These errors have actually become less when I recall the game window, include the outline. By updating the camera manager script. Yesterday I like made a new camera and it like, I don't know if it actually fixed the problem. Let's try that again. Let me create a new camera. Main camera 0, 0, -10. Orthographic camera. I don't need any of this stuff. I don't even know what this does. And they don't even know either because they don't even give you a hint. Let's move this over to here. And then I need to set the, let's just delete. Actually, I don't want to delete that. I want to see -10. What the f? Oh, I see. 5. 80. I'm going to fix that size anyways. That's automatically going to be generated. Let me delete this. Main camera. And then I want to set the canvas and just make sure that the canvas is going to this main camera. All right, let's see if this works. All right. Only time will tell if that actually fixed the problem. All right, so now it's time to go back in and try to get, we're going to build this online rank class in order to, let me get rid of this real quick, in order to do our scoring. So this isn't going to work the way I want, but I'll deal with that later. Get rank, public, void, submit score. All right. Route this through GameOn. All right, so in the stats, what we want to do is calculate the rank, add ordinal, generate stat text. Excuse me. So what I think I did last time was that generate stat text. At the end here, first off, I pulled out this. Stat value. Var stat value equals this, so that we have the actual stat value. Then the other thing I did was, if we're showing the game over summary, what we're going to do is stat manager, calculate rank. What is the name of the rank retriever dot submit score. And here we're going to pass in the stat and the stat value. And then the other place that we're going to do this is here. Generate stat text. All right. So this is all we need to do here. Basically, what we're going to do is in the online rank, we're going to print submit score for stat label value. And then we'll calculate this stuff back too. I don't think I need the user ID. This is all going to be let me go here if I understand. Let me refactor, change signature. We're going to get rid of the user ID. That's all going to be stored inside of this class. Get rank. And stats. All right, cool. So what we want to do is we want to test out that when a game is over and we go to get the stats that we actually print them out correctly. So let's run this. All right, so we submitted the score for time, for steps taken, for zombie, obstacles, max combos, zombie dog, and the final score itself. All right, so those are all the scores that we are submitting during the game. So now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and we're going to start adding in the logic. First of all, I'm going to try to let me try to really quickly just save these changes. Git status. And we're going to do git commit cleaned up stat manager. All right, so there's nothing to push because I don't have this hosted anywhere online. All right, so that will give us now the baseline for our code so that we can start adding in GameOn. And it looks like we're actually getting to the end of the this Pomodoro, which is good. I died, and the score was 66, and everything is good. Wonder why, how, I guess I add some stuff at the end to make the score. 106. So I guess it just adds all this stuff up to the final score. All right. So that's good. Now what we need to do is look at all right, I want to do this. Wait, what did I why is all this stuff in a scripts folder? The namespaces are a little weird. I don't know why I created namespaces like this. All right, we got stats. We shouldn't even need to worry about the stats anymore. We don't need to worry about this interface. Online rank. All we need to do now is focus on online rank. So for the online rank, I'm going to go to Peter's program class. And what I wanted to do was I'm going to take out, let me go to the game API class for a second here. Yeah, I gotta fix this real quick. All right, we're gonna go to online rank and we're going to create three public things: the public key, the session API key, and the session ID. And I actually want to rename this to did I not just log in? Game settings, zombie runner. There's a public API key So how about this? We're going to do game ID. We'll have a game ID, a public API key, and the public key. All right, so these are the three things that we're going to need. Let's go into our project, and on our game manager, we're going to look for our online rank. And let's just add these values over. I think we only use the public key and the public API thing. Oh, I remember. One of the other things that Peter had was all right, I'll fix that in a second. I need the API path. So he did that in it was called endpoint. So let's public we'll do API URL. You called it endpoint. I wonder if there's something, this endpoint, Unity web request get URI. So we're going to call this GameOn URI. All right, we'll just set this to this default value. And now if we come in here, it should give us the URI. Perfect. All right. So those are the base things that we need here. Now the next stuff that we need to start doing is wiring it up. So now on Peter's program, split vertically, he had I want to do a game. Here was his game API. I wanted to actually, well, service. Oh, you know what? I do need to make it a that stinks. In order to use the coroutines like Peter has it set up, I need to. All right, let's just do this game. It needs to be a mono behavior. I could roll my own, but I don't. I've never seemed to be very interested in creating my own coroutine logic. So, okay, I think what we're going to do is, I think I'm just going to use it the way he has it here, and I'm just going to replace this stuff with my stuff. All right, let me go back to online rank. I don't need any of this stuff. And what I want to do is on his game API class, I need to remove. All right, so these were the changes I was doing before. We get rid of this, and this, and we can get rid of this constructor, and then we're going to get rid of this constructor here. He was actually overriding stuff by passing it through back into the constructor. I think there's an admin API or something too. I need to remove the constructor for. All right, and then that'll get me a game API, excuse me, with the right values. And now what we're going to do for the online rank is we're going to look for the game API component. So online rank, game API, private void awake. We'll do game API equals get component, game API, and now we'll have a reference to the game API. So if I restart this, this should just run now. All right, so the next step of what we want to do is I want to authenticate and get the session ID. So when this starts up, we are going to authenticate GameOn. And let's do this. We're going to move this into a public I enumerator authenticate. So we're going to name this no name runner, and we're going to call this Super Zombie Runner GameOn. And the theory is that if I call start coroutine and we pass in authenticate, this will now run the game. Now what we want to do is public or private void on authentication. I feel like one of the things that I want to do is delay, like the game should load up, it should log in, and then it should run the game, but we'll get to that in a minute, I guess. Oh, I should probably close out this Pomodoro. We're done with this, and we're now re-adding all this stuff. Add GameOn edition, route all stat classes through the display. Expose display message method to stats class. Fine. We did that. Yeah, whatever. All right, I'll deal with the minutia of what I'm actually doing later. On authentication. So now what I want to do is get this to call on authentication. But first, before we even do anything, let's save this and let's run it and see if it authenticates. Forbidden. All right, let me come in here and make sure I have the right public API key. All right, yeah, I was using Peter's test game. And let's just make sure these strings are correct. Cool. So, all right, cool. So we've now authenticated the player. Everything is good. Hey, just so you watch, I was like, I keep thinking, I see like a flicker on my monitor, my side monitor, and I keep thinking it's like a new comment. All right, so what we want to do now is let's get this to, once we authenticate, I believe, well, this should all work the same. And what I wanted to do with Peter's stuff is I wanted to get it more consistent, where you basically pass in an accept or a... Well, I don't know. Maybe we can just skip that. I'm pretty sure that this yield return will wait until... Let's just do this for right now. Authenticate. All right, we'll leave that as a note. But basically, once we authenticate, what we need to do now is get a list of all of the tournaments. Because get match list. I wonder if I can just call this get match list. New get match list request, filter, request all, get match response, match, get success found, matches. All right, I think this is the new stuff that Peter added for me yesterday. Let's see what I was running into a problem for. Streaming for 2 users, nice. Yeah, I know. This isn't a very popular stream today. I'm using Lua. No, sorry, I'm not using Lua. Today I'm using C#. I was using Lua earlier today. Keep it up. That was funny. I need a little something to keep me going here. All right, so let's. Oh yeah, he wants to use GameMaker. I don't have any tips off the top of my head. I know the GameMaker guys really well. If you go to developer.amazon.com on our blog, I don't know where they put the blog. It's in App Store. They keep moving things around. I don't know. We had a blog somewhere. Where did they put the docs? Is it in docs? Where did our blog go? Build devices. Getting started. All right. I don't know where. We used to have a blog. Let's see. What I wanted to do is if you do GameMaker, let's see if we can search for it. Yeah. So if you go to developer.amazon.com and then go into the App Store and search and look for GameMaker, we have like a whole bunch of tutorials all on GameMaker from some really great people who some really great developers out there who've made professional games in GameMaker. So there's that. That was awesome. I guess I'll send an email out later and find out where our blog went, so I don't look like an idiot on a live stream. Luckily, there's only 3 people now, so I'm not too worried about people seeing that. All right, so I'm gonna call start coroutine test get match and just see if this returns any matches. What I was running into this issue yesterday with GameOn where I was stuck. I'd entered a tournament and then I tried to submit a score back to a tournament and then I couldn't get back into it because I'm already in it. So what we need to do is try to, I think what I'm going to do is it says there's a tournament found. That's good. Let's do this. We're going to create a private dictionary. And we're going to set this dictionary to a string. And then we're going to call this matches equals a new dictionary. All right, and we're gonna take a look, and we're gonna store all the matches that exist. Now, if a match doesn't exist for the player, then we are going to we're gonna have to enter the tournament and then get a match ID for it. So that's what I need to figure out. But right now, I'm not going to worry about that. All I want to do is try to get it to submit the score. So let's see here. Found match, found player match. Let's see what the difference is between that when it outputs. Found match, found 0 player matches. All right. So whenever we find the match, we're going to do matches add m.title equals, oops, oh my God. Come on. Like the text is like too big for me to even see what the hell's going on. And like the pop-up window is sort of match ID. There we go. Match ID. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to, now that we have this, the title for this guy is high scores. And what I want to do is rename in the stats manager. I'm going to rename. I feel like I made the text bigger somewhere, but it's like I can't see anything. That's the stats manager. I don't want that. I want the stats class. Here, the last stat that I go for is score. And we're going to call this is the label. The stats, actually, we're going to call this high score. And then what'll happen is that we'll match up. Yeah, thanks for showing up. Thanks for the laugh, and good luck with the Game Maker stuff. All right, so what we're going to do is I want to pull out the name of high scores, and we're going to try to match up the leaderboards to the stats themselves. So now, last thing I want to do is when we go here to submit a score, submit score, we'll do if matches contains key stat label, print found match for stat label. And I'm not going to submit the score just yet. I just want to make sure that we find a stat for it. So let's clear this guy out. I don't know why I did that. It'll just automatically clear when I restart the game anyways. All right. Found the match. Match is high score. So now let's die. And it should try to submit the score. But now it's still trying to submit score. Why didn't that change? Did I not save the code? Append rank. Oh, I see. Should this be score? And that should just be high scores. And I think the other thing that we should do is that when we generate the stat text, right, it only calculates the rank when we need to, and it submits the score. So what I wanted to make sure was when we called the submit score, okay, all right, blah, 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 blah. All right, that should work now. Let's try running that again. Should ask Digital Ninja just to leave the stream going on in the background so I can have a few extra views. I don't know, like this week views have been low, but it's cool. I don't mind talking to myself. Found match for high scores. All right, there we go. Perfect. I could even tell because I didn't spell it correctly. Match. Found the match for high score. All right, so the next part of what we want to do is we need to test submitting a score. I don't remember if add prizes. I don't remember if he did add score or not. Add prizes. I may have done that in the other code. Let me take a look at scripts. Game API services program. Open with Atom. Let's see. I think I did something where I had a submit score. Get tournament list, enter match, submit score, game API submit score. All right, here we go. This is what we're looking for. All right, so if we find in the online rank a match, we're going to do a private enumerator submit send score. We're going to do match ID, float value, and then we will basically going to call this here. So game API. Actually, I don't think we need to do any of that. We can just do this all in here. So here we're going to get the matches, stat label, value, response, score submitted. Submit score success. Submitted to GameOn. This value. Submit score as an int. Interesting. All right, we'll just convert it to an int. I'm not too worried about that. I in my head I was like, God, maybe I should convert that into a. Maybe I should convert that into an int, but I guess it needed me to do that anyways. All right, so that should now work. Well, at least I'm a lot more productive today than I was yesterday. Yesterday was just a total cluster. Like Unity just kept crashing and I couldn't do anything. All right, so what I want to do is if we look here and we look at the stats, we don't get any score submissions or any of that stuff, right? And now if I escape, it says jump over 2 obstacles. I just died. That was the quickest game ever. Found match for high scores. Submit score. Found match for high scores. So why didn't it submit? All right, let me do this. Private enumerator post score. We need a string match ID and an int for a value. And then we'll do I think it has to be set up as a yield return in order for this to work. So yield return pull this out here. And we're going to call this post score. And we'll do int value. Here we go. All right, let's try that. I'm like the other problem. I've not done a lot of stuff with like web requests in Unity, so I like mostly don't know what I'm doing. All right, there we go. So we're running. We got a new mission, and let's die. Found match for high scores, but then it isn't. Oh, am I not calling? Here's why. I forgot to call it in a coroutine. So start coroutine. Whoa, what just happened here? All right, let's try this. 8th time is the charm. Let's just. I'm hoping that's what was missing, is that I wasn't calling it in a coroutine. All right, missing authentication token. Request post failed, generic unknown. So let's see here. Session ID, missing authentication token. Now, I don't know why it's missing that authentication token. Let's take a look at posting the score and what that does. For submit score. Submit score request. Request score. Sync post from JSON. Fine. Submit score request. Matches score. Public string match base. Huh. Get leaderboard. I wonder if I need to re-enter the match. Let's see here. Submit score request. What was the API matches score? GameOn API code sample, API reference. Let's look for match ID. Get the match details for the requested player. Includes temp, main last score, high score, tournament details. Re-enter a match within a tournament if a match allows multiple re-attempts. And submit the player's score. All right, so session, active session ID, session API key generated during authorization, ID of the match that the player attempts, the score to submit. So what I'm wondering is, let's close this out. Wondering if I need to pass in more to this request. I'm not sure why it doesn't have All right, let's see. What was I doing when I was submitting the score? Enter match. All right, here's what we're going to do. We need to call this API first to enter the match. I think this has something to do with there's private enumerator. You can only enter a match so many times. So what we're going to do is on response, we will post score match ID value. Start coroutine. All right, so what we need to do is first we need to enter the match. We'll pass it in the match ID, the value. And then here what we're going to do is we'll say error entering match. Debug.log entered match. All right, so if you're tuning in, I'm adding Amazon's GameOn service to one of my games so that we could do online leaderboards and then do competitions and give away real world prizes. But before we do any of that, we got to get this code working. And I'm just sort of wrapping my head around how to make HTTP requests through Unity in the order at which I need to do that. All right, so we died. Handle error, matches, failed. Requesting post match blank enter failed. Generic HTTP thing cannot enter tournament after it has ended. Okay. Let's see what's going on with that. Where are my games? High score detail is still closes in 11 months. So that's the match ID. All right. What? Found match high score. We make a request. We are now passing in this number. All right. Is that not the actual match anymore? Maybe I haven't entered the new high scores one, because there is an old high scores one. Competition details. Your competitions, closed competitions. Can I reactivate this? All right. That's a problem because I, like an idiot, named both of these competitions the same. All right. what I need to do is I think I need to go through here and change filter by for active. So get match requests. Let me see what the API call is for this. Matches. Get matches. All right, so limit match type, filter by live. All right, so let's see if this time it'll actually pull up the live one, and we'll test out and see how that works. All right, so cannot enter tournament after it's ended. I want to see something. When we go here and we get when we get the match stuff, get match response, get match list response. Get match list. Get match list request. It should return a I wonder what is up with this. I'm missing something about the order of execution here. So we've authenticated the player. Player flow through the tournament. Get the list of tournaments. Right. All right, so the game app calls get tournaments, and the API responds with a list of tournaments. These requests includes 4 optional query parameters to control the tournaments that the API returns. The game app can use the query parameters to filter get tournament requests by live or upcoming time period. Sure, great. The successful response includes a list of tournaments. Match and player limits in game API. A number of interrelated parameters determine the maximum number of players and matches and player attempts in a tournament. Note the following definitions. Match is max, match player attempts per match. Maximum number of times a player can attempt to play in a match, typical also the number players per match. All right, but where... Do not use the GameOn environment for load tests of your game. The GameOn service has been tested and scaled by Amazon. Player selects a tournament. All right, so if the player chooses to view the details of the tournament, the game app calls get tournament details using tournament ID of the selection. Optionally, you can specify the player attributes of the player. If the player is not eligible for the tournament, the API returns to a 2, can enter, fields at defaults. All right, player enters the tournament. If the player chooses to enter the tournament, the game calls enter tournament. The system searches for an open match within the tournament and returns a match ID in the response. So what API is enter tournament? All right, so let's take a step back and let's go back to our earlier code where I was going through and pulling out the tournaments. Test get tournament list. So we authenticate. On authentication, we are going to test we're going to get a list of tournaments. Dictionary string, well, what we're going to do is, I don't think the tournament, when we get a list of tournaments, what is found is a list of tournament. Let me look at what Peter's tournament class looks like. Player, subtitle, title, tournament ID. All right, so let's do this. We're going to do string tournament, and we're going to tournaments, and we're going to get a list of tournaments. We're going to save them. So new dictionary tournaments. Perfect. All right. So then, as we go through here and we loop through it, found is going to be a list of tournaments. We're going to set tournaments equal to found. Actually, we'll just, oh no, I know what I need to do. I need to do for each, as we loop through them, we're going to do tournaments, add t dot title t. All right, so we're going to loop through tournament, get success found. I just like lost. There we go. I lost this over here. All right. Add, so found t tournament ID. Perfect. So once we go through and do this, the next thing we're going to do is when we go to submit a score, we need to test entering the tournament, I think. Submit score. So private I feel like well, string what I think I want to do is, as we find tournaments, we want to enter the player into them. Or not. Let's do it this way. IEnumerator. We're going to look at tournaments, contains key, stats label, and here we're going to do a yield, turn game API dot enter tournament. Tournament ID. And we'll do response equals this, error equals this, and we'll end the request. All right, so print entered tournament title. And then here, let's just copy this out. Error entering tournament. All right, let's just see if we can go through and enter the tournament. But then what we're going to do is we're going to enter the tournament, and then we're going to request back a match. Then, because I believe the response for enter tournament is going to, what is the API call for that? Enter tournament. What is the request? Tournaments enter. All right, let me see here on the documentation. Game API references. Tournaments, tournament ID. All right, enter a tournament for the first time. This finds an open match within the tournament based on the maximum number of matches per tournament and maximum number of players per match. All right, so this enters the tournament for the first time. Get tournament details to allow the player to see more information about the tournament. Open link. I just want to... There's like two ways we need to do this. We either have to enter the tournament the first time. Allows the player to see more information about the tournament. Returns. Invalid request. Get developer tournament detail response. Description of the tournament. Value to decide. Has access. Image. Matches per player. Player attempts per match. Prize. Bundle. Score type. Subtitle. Title. Tournament. It's the win high scores. All right. All right, let's just try to call this right now and see if we can enter this tournament. All right, so we found the tournament. Great. We have one tournament called High Scores. I'm going to die. And player has joined the maximum number of matches for this tournament. And this is the issue I was running into yesterday, where I couldn't figure out. I had set the details for this to allow competition details, maximum attempts per player. All right. I would really like to know what I'm doing wrong here. Because now it's saying, all right, player has joined the maximum number of matches for this tournament. But when I look at the player, that's the first. Get tournament ID. Allows the player to see more information. Tournament enter. Enter the tournament for the first time. This finds an open match within the tournament. Standing in a match. Get match details for the requested player, including attempts remaining matches. All right, maximum number of matches to return. be used along with filter by period player attributes. So what I'm a little confused about here is, let me quit this. We don't need this open anymore. What I'm confused with now is I've entered the tournament. So let's see here. We get an error entering the tournament, right? Let me look at what the error is. The message: the player has joined the maximum number of matches for this tournament. Key request post. Entering tournament, generic unknown HTTP error. Where was my test match list? Let's go back here and test this match list. But did I have to give the matches count? Get match list. I wonder what match type is. Attempts remaining. Response. M response. Found match ID. Print remaining. Attempts remaining. All right, so let's try going back this way again and testing this out. So when we get started, we're just going to call get match list, and we'll run this and see what the what it gives back. Attempts remaining, 999. Found 0 player matches. All right, found 0 matches, attempts remaining. So let's do this. If M attempts remaining is greater than 0, then let's attempt to enter the match. Start coroutine, enter match. Match ID. Enter match. Let's do this. Enter match. Enter match. Oh, come on, Jesse. Are we really that stupid today? Look at that. I was using an old match ID. That stinks. Come on. Come on, Unity. You can do it. Let's see if it'll enter the match for me now. Entered match. There we go. All right, so we can now redo some of this stuff. How do I want to do this? I wonder if I just hold on. I'm going to copy all this. I'm going to revert all this back and get rid of the tournament stuff for a second. Get rid of the enter tournament and go back to where it was submitting the score, because I bet you everything works fine. I was just using, I had the enter match hard coded. Let me save this. I'll just save that text. So I'll pull that up later. All right, maybe this will work now. Let's see. Come on. Oops, a little eager there, hitting the button a little too many times. And I think my Pomodoro's up too. So let's do this and we'll probably take a quick break. All right, so submitted score 0. All right, we just submitted our first score. Yay! It helps when you don't hard code the debug values. All right, here's a new score. Why is the score 0? I wonder if converting it to an int is... All right, our score should be more than 0. All right, so let's take a look at why our score keeps submitting as 0. But now what's happening is that we're able to submit scores. That's good. All right, what is going on with that? Is there a place where we actually submit score, high score is 0? So what I got to figure out now is why the stat value high score is 0. My belief is that I have 2 places where I'm calling this thing. This should be high score. And then high score. High score. All right. Oops, high scores. These are going to have to match up to the stats are going to have to match up to the names of the final leaderboards. So it was trying to call a stat that didn't have a name, so the value was 0. All right, let's try this now. All right. So we're still getting 0. What's up with that? I'll have to look into that 1 second. Let's see here. All right, so we're just not pulling up the right score. I'm kind of curious if the high scores are going to show up now. No players in this leaderboard. This is 1 player. All right, that I don't know what's going on. I think I had an issue earlier, but where it wasn't submitting the scores. But it says it's submitting them, so I can follow up on that one. Let's actually get a score submitting, though. So now, generate stats text. Get stats value. What I'm trying to figure out is there should be a... So this is why I'm not a big fan of magic strings. I need to find edit, view, navigate, find. Find in path. All right, so score label. What we should do is make this a public. Well, yeah. Nah, we can do it this way. Score manager. So, all right, let's open up this for a second, because what I think's happening is the score manager is calculate score. Increase score, calculate score. Where is the stats manager? Reveal in Finder. All right, so what we need to do is we have to convert these stats into some sort of enum. Score manager. Public enum. So what we would do is we're going to have to look for everywhere where we call refactor. Let's find usages. Everywhere where we call get stats value, we need to replace it with something from here. So we can get all these stats from this class, and then we just got to make sure that we're using them. Yeah, here we go. Time. Steps taken, zombie. Obstacles. Max combo. Zombie dog. And high score. I didn't realize that the washing machine is running in the background of my stream. Guess my wife's home. I have like noise canceling headphones. I can't hear anything, but I don't monitor the thing. So sorry if you're hearing that weird like noise in the background. That's the washing machine. Always professional in this stream. I've been meaning to build a recording studio in my basement. As you can imagine, that is not an easy sell. I forget how to convert a. Is it to string? Let me just make sure about that. C# convert enum to string. Enum to string. I just want to make sure that it actually gives me back. If returns a value is formatted with a general shades. For example, this demonstrates output the value of this instance is red. Color to okay. As long as that's what I need to do. All right, so I want to find refactor. Find do jump combo to string. All right, so last kill time maximum combo. So let's move the combo manager over to here. Well, you know what we should do? I know what we should do. what would fix all of this? Where was the score stat manager? Get stat value. Service API. Score manager. What we should do is route everything through the score manager. And then just pass in an enum so we can actually get the right score. I wonder if that would simplify things. Because then I wouldn't have to deal with any of this two-string stuff. All right. What's the best approach to doing this? We have a stats manager here where we are calling update stats value, get stats value, reset stat. I'm trying to think, maybe what I could do is have the this is the stat manager, score manager is different. How about this? Whenever we calculate the score, maybe we should pass in the enum here. Update stats, so increase score. Oh, I see. Oh, that's clever. I think we can well, I don't know. I gotta really think of how I want to do this. I think what we could probably do to just fix this one little problem is just... I'm gonna have to go through the code and get rid of all these magic things. I can just call this high scores. That should fix the scoring bug, but eventually we're gonna want to go through and I'm so bad at like not ending these pomodoros. We made some success. We tested out submitting a score to the leaderboard. We added route all stats classes through the display. We haven't done that yet. Alright, so let's see if we can get the scores to work and submit. And hopefully this should now find, because it's using the same key. That's stupid. I don't know why I wrote this like this. I need to come up with a better way of looking for stats. Magic strings are like the worst. So basically the stat manager just doesn't care what the stat is. You just pass in a label as a string, but then I can't track any of those labels. So what I probably would do is I would extend that class, use it in here, and I would add a thing above it. All right, there we go. Cool. The score worked, and we submitted a score of 62. All right. So I think this is good to go. Oh, and I died. Alright, so it's saying it's submitting these scores. So that's good. What I don't get back is the rank, though. And let's look into the APIs and see what actually returns the rank. Because that would be the best part now. Next is to pull back the rank and to actually wire that up. Then what I'll do tomorrow is I'll load up all the leaderboards, and then we'll start figuring out how we'd want to do like a monthly contest or something like that. As long as the leaderboards are sort of named the same as the stats we're tracking, the game will always try to add the scores. Now, I'm not doing contests and stuff. Like GameOn was sort of designed to do like monthly contests and prizes and stuff like that. Right now, I'm just trying to add a generic leaderboard using GameOn to it, and then from there, I'll start building out some additional functionality. All right, let's see what that score is. 504. All right, so I don't know if it's going to display this yet. I have to find out why. There's a little bit of a delay. I know there is a delay. I haven't seen what that is yet. But let's do this. Let's go in Oh, that washing machine in the background. Hopefully it'll be over soon. I don't know how long the spin cycle lasts for. The washing machine's like right outside my office. Or my home office. Alright, so let's see. Get matches, enter match, submit score. Alright, so here we're going to submit the score. And when we submit the score, it's going to return a successful score submitted and a submit score request. And it's going to submit score response. The score will be used for the leaderboard. Add attempt request. Add attempt response. Get match leaderboard response. Get match leaderboard. How do I claim prize? Claim prizes. Fulfill prize request. Submit score. Let's find rank. Alright, so what does this call? Get leaderboard. Match ID, get leaderboard. Alright, so I don't know if Peter added this. Maybe we can try to add this in. We'll add a task here real quick that just is for try to get the rank. That's sort of where I'd like to end today. I have a meeting. Well, I'm going to be skipping a meeting at noon. I have a meeting at 1 that I can't skip, and then I got to stop by 1. I would also like to eat at some point, but that's you know those work days where you just work and don't get to eat. That's like most of my days. All right. I got to get this. I want to get this working because I'm going out to meet with the team next week, and I want to actually be able to give them some like real feedback. So, a big part of like being an evangelist for any product is to actually sit down and like use the product just like anyone else would. So this is valuable information. All right, let's go back to the online rank, and what I want to do is that after we submit a score, enter match, post score. I want to return a rank. And then I got to figure out how to feed that rank back up to everything else. So let's see if we can submit score. I don't know if game API get leaderboard. Oh, it does have get leaderboard. All right, so when we call get leaderboard, gets the leaderboard for a match with the option to get the player's position in the leaderboard. Yeah, we want to do that. Why wouldn't we? All right, private, oops, private I enumerator. Get rank. Does the match have the tournament ID attached to it? Alright, so the match has the tournament ID. So what I think I want to do is I want to change tournament ID. And this will be yield return game API dot get leaderboard. And we're going to pass in the oh, we just use a match ID, huh? So we'll do the match ID in current player neighbors 0 limit 1 Response text. Let's do this. All right, response, submit, score. The response is going to be a match, print, players, rank. Response, current player, rank. Oh, look at that. The only thing that I don't know is going to happen is if the rank is going to, if you do a lower score than a higher score, if the rank works correctly. But let me see here. Get rank error. Player's rank. All right, so let's try this. Start coroutine equals get rank. Let's play another game and see if we can get a rank back. The way that I'm thinking of doing this is that when the game is over, it's going to iterate through each of the stats, and it'll show you the stat, but it's not going to show you the rank. And every time a callback happens, it'll refresh it and it'll set the rank on some sort of object. I have to figure out how I want to do that right now, but that one's a little bit easier. Once I get the main part of this stuff working, that stuff's pretty straightforward. All right, so let's die 39 and submit high score, and then it didn't do anything. Submit high score. Start score submitted to submit score. Submit score. High score. I wonder if it's not really submitting the high scores. I don't think it was actually doing this the whole time. I think it was just calling my trace. That stinks. Hopefully that was not the case. Let's see here. I have too many I have too many console logs. Yeah, look, it's not doing anything. Found high scores. All right, that's not cool. Tournament, get found high scores. Test get match list. Get tournament list. What did I do wrong here? Did I revert all this back to get match list? Huh. I swore I changed all this. On authentication, get match list. Hey, we're back to the old error. Missing authentication token. For what request? Matches score. What is going on here? We're calling enter match. Is entered match getting called? Found matches for high score. We're entering the match. Failed, missing authentication token. Okay, I think this is where I'm going to end. I had to look into why I'm missing an authentication token. Encrypt player, register player response. What? Game API. Encrypted payload token request. Let me try removing this for a second and seeing if I can just re-authenticate the player. I might have saved it yesterday and then not, it needs to re-authenticate. All right. Nope, still missing the authentication token. Okay. Huh. I wonder why that's happening. Player prefs get string. Player prefs token. Am I not saving this token? Set response player set string encrypted authenticate static read only game. This token, why is this token not saved anywhere? Enter a tournament, enter a match, submit a score, request URI, new submit score, request match ID, string matches ID score. Where am I missing the authentication? Get match, submit score request. All right, so matches score, submit score. It needs the active session ID, session API key generated during auth in the header, ID of the match, the player attempt, player score to submit. So the session API key generated during authorization. This is where I start to lose knowledge on how this actually works. Let me look at how Peter wrote these requests. To JSON, this is a request. What I don't understand is that's the URI. Serialize the JSON object. Submit score request. All right, I gotta call Peter and figure this out. So, all right, I think I'm gonna end the stream. I did as much as I could, and tomorrow hopefully I'll have some answers, and I'll go from there. So, thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow, probably around 10 o'clock my time.